Hey, this is Tony with Earth Inspired, and today we're making pendants. And the cool thing about these pendants we're making is they're actually going to have a little wire loop that the chain or twine or whatever you're hanging them on will run through so they can lay flat on your chest. So most pendants people make out of clay, typically some round pendant with a little hole punched in it, and then you've got to do some kind of fancy knot work so it, lays straight on you. But with this little loop that's fired in, so it's one complete piece, you'll be able to run a chain or any kind of string and wear this thing very easily. Alright, so it's real simple. We're going to just get a ball of clay, roll it up. You don't want it perfectly round, you want it a little flattened. Take your stamp or natural object or whatever it is, place it over the center, press down kind of firm, peel it off. If the outside is a little wonky, you can bend it right into shape. Just make it round to your liking. Take your little hanger, position it as close to center as possible, stick it down in, and you're good to go. So on the hanger, when you go to place it in, you want to stick it straight in the center, and as the clay shrinks, it's going to shrink down onto that and not want to pull out. If you're having trouble with the clay sticking to the stamp, or if you're using a seashell or something smooth that'll want to stick, you could use baby powder or cornstarch. Some people even use WD-40, but I find that gets a little greasy. But just something to help not stick. Usually bare clay or something that's been fired to bisque doesn't really have any trouble sticking too much. So one thing you can do, other than using natural objects, you can make your own stamps. So anything, any design or texture you like, you can use that as the base stamp, and then you take some kind of clay or plaster or something and make a stamp off of that. So I made a little skull, and then I took a piece of clay, smashed it around the skull, and then fired that, and now that becomes a mold to then make that same skull over and over again. So it's a very easy and simple way to make your own stamps. Their possibilities are endless. So, and the more round you can get the ball, the more round your finished product is. So if that's important to you, practice makes perfect. Alright, so we're going to move on to a flat, round, textured pendant. So we're going to start with our same ball. We're going to roll a round ball. And they're kind of a smashed ball is what it ends up as. You could roll it like a straight ball, and you want it to be fairly round, because if it's an oval or oblong, when you smash it, it's not going to be round, it's going to be that shape. So once you make your little round ball, you take two little sticks. They could be, these are just little strips of wood. You could use chopsticks or wooden round dowels or anything at all. But whatever the thickness of that stick is going to be the thickness of your end pendant. So you want to lay that down, lay the two little sticks, take some kind of piece of wood. Wood works best, or some kind of canvas maybe would work over top of a piece of metal, but wood's nice because it won't want to stick very bad. So once you pull that off, then you can take your daisy stem and get a nice texture on there. You can just pump these out all day long. So if you want to make a teardrop shaped pendant or a oval pendant, whatever your shape is, you can make your ball that little shape. And you can, if it's a little oblong, you can work with it and get it more round. Alright, so now we're going to do some of these little spiral guys. This was a seashell I found on the beach in Outer Banks, North Carolina. Something about it just stuck out to me and I had to pick it up. I didn't realize at the time, 2 years later, it was going to start my pendant making. This was the very first pendant I made was with this little spiral seashell. So it makes a really nice pendant because it has these very defined steps. And being a seashell, it's kind of smooth, so it does want to stick a little bit, especially once it gets wet from repeated stamping. So you're gonna potentially need to put some baby powder or some cornstarch on it. But you just center it up, smash it down, and there you go. It's this nice little spiral. The spiral just sticks out to me in so many ways. It fascinates me. I love collecting any kind of seashell fragment, even with just part of the spiral, I can't help but pick up. So also with something like this that has very defined steps like that, you're going to need to go straight down and come straight back out. Well, there you have it. It's that easy to make a ton of little clay pendants. These guys are going to dry for about a week or so. Once they're dry, we're going to bisque fire them and then Raku fire them. So stay tuned because we're going to get it all on film, and the Raku firing process is crazy. Lots of fire. It's fun. So stay tuned and we'll see you next time.